Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 134 people in 12 different countries, and it will be fabulous. So while I wait for confirmation that somebody can see and hear me, hopefully, I did want to mention a new thing that I tried today, which is, let's see, there we go. So that's my website and my email address. My name is Janet Wright. I'm an energy healing teacher and energy healer. Oops. Then also, today I tried to text the people that signed up for text messages, like text alerts when the stream is about to start. I did try to text them, and I ended up having to do it through my own personal cell phone, one person at a time. But so it turns out that I have to start my stream before 8 p.m. Eastern, because they have quiet hours that they didn't tell me about, that they don't think anyone should be texting other people, which I find kind of irritating. It's my problem if I want to text people when I want to text them. I mean, if they agree to it, then that's that, right? But no, apparently not allowed. So anyway, oh, thanks for the confirmation. So anyway, I will really try to start my live streams before 5 p.m. My time, 8 p.m. Eastern, in the future, which would be like an hour and 7 minutes earlier than right now, which, you know, is very logical. I mean, I should be starting then. I should have already started by then anyway. But so there's that. So, but you can go ahead and let me know if you do want those text messages. It'll just be a text message 5 minutes before the start of any of these group healing live streams. So you could email me at that email address and just say, yeah, you know, I'd like text messages just 5 minutes before. You could have it before all 5 group healings each month, even if you don't sign up, even if you don't purchase them, you know, and you just like watching live and healing yourself, that's fine too. I would send you up for the text messages, that's no problem. Or you could just get the text messages for whenever you purchase, and you could let me know that, just as like a blanket thing, and then maybe just remind me when you buy a set. But if you have a full subscription, you know, tell me, and then it'll just be set up that way, that you get the text alerts 5 minutes before the stream starts, if that's what you want. And again, that's provided that I actually start before the quiet hours begin and I'm blocked from texting people. Oh my gosh. So, what else? What other announcements? There is other things I want to say. Really. Okay, so I already talked about the text option right there. Let me know if you want that. Just email me and say, hey, I'd like those text alerts 5 minutes before the stream. There are 3 different news emails. When people email me individually, we've been talking about it and which ones they want. A lot of times many times people want all 3 each month, because they're not just purchase reminders. They have other little fun extras in them, like suggested affirmations that the angels mentioned to me, or you know, a video suggestion with a link, or like a freestyle meditation idea that you could try, you know, just something extra. Most of them will have that. So that's why you might want all 3 in a month. in addition to, you know, if you purchase manually, then there are reminders about that. So anyway, at some point I'm going to get my act together and send everyone a survey so that if they haven't already told me their preferences, they can through the survey, a specific survey about news emails, but haven't gotten that together yet. And then the promotions, they're the same as they have been like last month too. There are 2 different promotions. One, if you're, I'm gonna not call them pure newbies anymore. That pure is a very loaded word. So I'm gonna call them like first-time newbies. So if you buy a set for a first-time newbie, or you yourself are a first-time newbie, meaning somebody I've never healed in a group healing before, then, you know, if you buy a set for yourself, if you're the first-time newbie or for a first-time newbie that you know, then you get a set for free. So it's like buy one, get one free, as long as the one you buy for is the first-time newbie. And then the other promotion is a new subscription promotion. So like if you buy a new full subscription, then you get 2 free sets to use on yourself or whoever. So that's the idea. Okay, so enough announcements. Now I know people can see and hear me, so that's delightful. So let's see. Now we can get to the business of discussing the healing. How about that? Wouldn't that be nice? So this is the August 2026 triplet set healing 1 of 3. Up there is the theme for both sets this month: communication, perception, and focus. So the idea is let's improve communication, perception, and focus. Perception is interesting because it's like, it's your perception, but also other people's perception of you. There's a lot of room within that perception word that we could really work. Like maybe you're communicating things subconsciously that affects how people perceive you or perceive what you're saying, or maybe, you know, you yourself have different types of baggage that makes you perceive people's communication differently than it's sent, you know, that kind of distorts how you process their communication. So anyway, that's that. And focus, everyone pretty much knows what that is, you know, the ability to focus and do what you are supposed to do or what you wanted, you set out to do, rather than like 5 other detours before maybe you get to it. Which I think is more and more important these days, since, you know, like social media, websites like YouTube and stuff, they're really geared to like grab your attention and keep it for as long as possible. Like they've done behavioral studies, and the way they present stuff is on purpose to like take control of your focus. Which is, you know, I mean, you could get back to me about that and be like, that's so unfair. But, you know, whatever it is. So we're gonna work focus. Plus, there are little ways around it. Like sometimes if I want to go and watch one of my, you know, self-healing videos, but I have to go on YouTube first to get to my channel, it's like there's so many distractions on the homepage of YouTube because they know just the other types of videos that you like, you know. So I have a bookmark on my browser that will take me right to my YouTube channel in case I'm like particularly at risk for getting distracted for a large chunk of time. I can go directly to it. And like I have on my phone too, I have in Notepad, I have one of the notepads has like direct links to like my short videos playlist, and it has a direct link to, you know, the Experience version 5 Essentials video, just so that if I really need it, and because when you need it, you're even more likely to get distracted and have bad focus. So it's like kind of a minefield to go onto YouTube even at that point. So that's why you know, you can, like when you're watching a video, you can click share, you know, and it'll copy the link, you know, and then you can paste it into somewhere else so you can protect yourself from I'm getting distracted to some extent. All right. Well, anyway, so enough of that. That's about focus. So, so yeah. So specifically, what are we doing today? Good stuff. Okay, so I like talking about the nutshell version of things just because then later I can refer to it. Because yes, it'll be down in the outline, the comment section later when, you know, like a day from now or so when I make the healing outline. Sometimes I'll put like an overview above the healing outline in the comment section. So you get the nutshell written out that way, but I just like saying it too. So, so I can hear it later, you know. Okay, so the nutshell, the overview nutshell is I really worked to design every step of what we're going to be doing today to make it a more gentle process and a more help you to go further in the healing than you would otherwise, with still the same gentle results. And obviously I can't guarantee that for everybody, but that's the design. That was my intention, to really help not only like a body friendly healing, because there'll be a lot of good body stuff in here, but you know, just hopefully just it'll be a very easily surfable experience. Like during the healing, and then, you know, like at least a day after. You know, at some point you got to meditate a little yourself, you know. But hopefully, I try to design this one so it's pretty gentle. And there'll be, you know, obviously the 5 essentials work that we do, but I even tweaked that section to make it better. And for the body-friendly stuff, we'll be doing biker shorts work, you know, down here, that type of work, including some meridians down here, unblocking and repairing. Then stuff about reducing intrapersonal conflict, intrapersonal. So like your conflict with yourself, which, you know, is probably subconscious, but it can really be counterproductive and cause you to maybe have nightmares or just feel like confused and unproductive, or stressed, more stressed than usual. So clearing baggage to reduce, or healing to reduce intrapersonal conflict will probably be, I would guess, the most consequential thing that we're doing today. But we are repeating some really heavy hitter good stuff things, like we're repeating Chakra Gates, which we just did for the first time in the last healing, the July twin set 2 of 2 of 2026. So we'll be doing Chakra Gates again in an interesting way. And that will be within the 5 essentials. Right after chakra repair, we'll do Chakra Gates. And then we will do, and that essentially what it does is it just helps boundaries. It helps your chakras stay healthy and unblocked, and it helps you have better boundaries with other people and invasive energies at a chakra level. But the Chakra Gates, it'll be actually 2 places in the 5 essentials section. So the 5 essentials section will definitely be more interesting than maybe the most, like, you know, version that I do. This one will be much more tweaked and custom, the 5 essentials version. And like I said, there'll be 2 times that we do Chakra Gates work, one right after chakra repair and unblocking, and one right after Good Karma Window work. So it'd be interesting. And we'll melt denial nets. Again, we did that, I think, I want to say for the first time, with the second healing. Maybe we did it in both of those. No, we just did it. Yeah, we just did it in the final healing last month. So we'll do it again. It's really good, and I saw it helped a bunch of people. So it helps you to melting denial nets is used with mind garden and colored balls of energy, and the colored balls of energy represent things that you ideally would have in your conscious mind, but they're stuck in your subconscious mind because of denial. So anyway, that's that. We'll do that just in general to help you with whatever helpful realizations you need right now, but also specifically for the themes. So any helpful realizations that would help with communication, perception, and focus. And we will again do another one that was consequential that we did in the last healing last month. Finishing an Akashic Record download. But we won't like start an upload and do a download and then finish any, we won't start anything. We'll just, if you have any energy that you had already asked for, like any information from your past lives that you'd already requested on a subconscious level, and maybe it got stuck halfway down, or some of it got stuck halfway down, we'll, unblock the seventh enough so that comes in, you get that knowledge of yours from your past lives. Which you might not realize in the moment whenever, it'll just help you solve a problem or something, or help you to realize something, or, be a little wiser. So I think that's the whole gist of it. So it wasn't really a nutshell, I apologize, but it was faster than I would have otherwise said it, so maybe that helps. Also, we will be using a new 3-step thing. We've been doing 3-step wrap-ups for a while now. Let me move my camera image over so I can show them. So first, maybe 2 months ago, we did this one, where it was a 3-step wrap-up, and it has to do with recycling lurkers, so invasive beings that are kind of lurking outside your space because they want to get back in and bug you. And then clearing STEBs, which is stubborn triggered energy blocks, clearing those. And then a blue earth energy soak for your mind, which is so nice and like calming. So that's the first like 3-step kind of thing that we had done in a bunch of healings at different times. But then last healing, we did a new 3-step wrap-up with all your joints. Where, so this is really, so I've been reviewing the 3-step wrap-ups. So there was the one with the blue soap, which is nice, and we'll probably still do that now and then. But then this one is, this one right here is, recycle lurkers, clear STEBs, just like the other one. But then a healthy and gentle, which is H and G, version of unblocking all your joints and all your major chakras and your creative rings up here, all, pretty much at the same time. Which is a really nice and centering thing to do. So we will do that at one point in this healing. But 2 other times we're going to do a new kind of 3-step wrap-up, which I want to show. I'm going to call this one the proactive, 3-step wrap-up, because it has proactive clearing in it, which I think will be very, it will be a part of how, okay, so that, so then 2 times today, this is a wrap up that we'll do, a 3-step wrap up, you know, to sort of clean the slate and get you ready for the next thing in the healing. We'll do that 2 times at least. And the first step is familiar, right? Clear STEB. So that's stubborn triggered energy blocks. That's what STEB stands for. And so it's just kind of clearing the slate, you know, getting rid of any triggered energy blocks that you have that are stubborn. They still haven't cleared, and you have to kind of mindfully do it to get them cleared. And that's always nice and calming and helps you get settled. But then proactive clearing, we're going to do that where you sort of anticipate intuitively what's going to get triggered as you get more present. Because that's the thing, you getting present is one thing, you know, through, you know, you can repair your chakras, repair your auras, unblock, reground, and you'll get a lot more present. However, if you have old baggage that you've been avoiding on conscious or subconscious levels, you don't want to feel it, right? That a lot of times that keeps people out. And then if they do come in, they get, you know, nightmares and this and that, and, you know, or they just have, you know, worst case scenario, like abuse flashbacks or something, which obviously who would want that, right? So we're going to just proactively clear, to the extent that's healthy, gentle, with angel help, whatever baggage that's in your space that would get triggered if you were to get more present. So that way you're more likely and more willing on a subconscious level to get maybe at least maybe up to twice as much present with the same healing procedures, you know, because you got the baggage out of the way that would have been unpleasant that you would feel as you get more present. You see, so that's how we're going to use proactive clearing in this context. And then the third step is also, you know, we use it in these 3-step wrap-ups every time, which is recycle lurkers, which is also a great thing to do when you're getting more present. You know, as you get more present, you knock out the invasive energies from your space, you know, a lot of them. And so, but a lot of them are a little bit determined to just wait around and get back in later when you're, you know, pissed off about something and imbalanced. And so you can ask your angels, can you recycle all my lurkers? And that way, you know, there's less sort of drama, you know, in a day or 2 or 3 when you're, you know, maybe not meditating so much that day. Or spending too long seated surfing YouTube. Maybe. So I want to get rid of the troublemakers, right? So anyway, so that's the, I'm going to call that the proactive 3-step, you know, wrap up. So that's the one we'll do today 2 different times, towards the start and towards the end of the program. So that's that. Totally not a nutshell, but, you know, not as long as it would have been. All right. Well, I'll have to work on the nutshell for the comment section later. Nutshells are not my forte. I did want to say also, though, in the aura repair section of the 5 essentials, you know, usually that's pretty standard the way we do it, but I'm gonna spend extra focus on repairing gold mesh spheres of the Wei Qi auras. So, you know, 15 out of 17 of your auras, they're called Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi is a traditional Chinese medicine concept, and the fact that you have 15 Wei Qi auras is something that angels explained to me. And they basically protect and nurture your meridians. these Wei Qi auras, and they generate the gold mesh spheres, 3 of them within each Wei Qi aura, continuously generate gold light to then send towards the meridians and bathe the meridians with gold light to help protect and support, right? But if you get damage and then it gets healed up, to that aura, a lot of times, well, sometimes the gold mesh sphere does not recreate itself. So you have the whole aura, but then it's like there are these gaps in the gold mesh spheres. So then there's a lot less gold light there. So then it's not as strong and protective as it could be. So just a heads up, aura repair section has been kind of pretty standard for a while, and I've kind of dropped off consciously talking about and spending much time at all on repairing gold mesh spheres, but I've kind of, today for sure, I will be doing more of that. So the non-technical version of that is just going to make auras better and help boundaries. And may help your physical body. All right. So that's that. That's all. All right. So ironically, this is the day that I actually texted only 8 people that the live stream was going to start. And I think we have less comments than usual. That's pretty ironic. But the stream is starting pretty late, depending on where you are in the world. But yeah, it's starting a little late, so maybe that's part of it. People need to go to bed or something. I mean, here it's only 6:30 in the evening, but I understand not everyone is in the West Coast, on the West Coast of the U.S. So we will just do a very quick section of pre-healing chat comments. Oh, more people. Yeah, if you are watching, go ahead and just say hi. You don't have to, but it's more fun that way for me. And it does help the stream. And if you refuse to say hi in chat, which is your prerogative, of course, you could maybe consider giving the stream a thumbs up, which also helps. Even if you're watching later as a video, giving the thumbs up definitely helps. Alrighty. So we can see and hear you. Thank you so much. That first one is always the most important, because otherwise I don't know if I'm just talking to my laptop or not. Someone says, hey, Janet. Hello from hot Las Vegas, 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. That's hotter than Thailand, hotter than South Korea, hotter than Chicago, I'm sure. Hope you have a lot of ways to stay cool. You're saying, I've been excited for the healing today since this morning. Feeling pretty grounded, which hasn't been that normal lately. Awesome. You probably opted into some pre-healing angel healings. So that's nice. Hi, Janet. Hello to you. Thank you for the hello. Someone else says hi. Thank you so much. You guys are spoiling me. Someone says, I love GMS, which stands for the gold mesh spheres that I was talking about in the Wei Qi auras that generate gold light and help to protect and nurture your body's meridians. And I have been working on them lately. I have been calling them red light therapy, LOL. Yeah, it's like red light therapy, but with gold. Someone says hello again. Hi, hello to you. Hello, laptop, yeah. I have done that before, where it's not actually recording, and I'm just talking to my laptop, and it'll be like 5 minutes or so. I'll just go, and then finally my husband will come in the room and be like, you're not streaming. So yes, those early comments are especially reassuring. It was hi, it's been a while, so good to see you. Yes, it has. Smith says, can you share what your interest in Thailand is? I can give you a short version, but also I can link in the chat the video where I first announced it and I talked about it for like 9 minutes. So let me get that one first. I'll pull that up. So it's on my personal public YouTube channel, not this one. And that channel is called Janet's Pineapple Time, which is sort of a long story, but anyway, so this is the video, which I will link. Then, okay, so the nutshell of it is just that it's more affordable cost of living than where we live in the US, and more affordable healthcare than anywhere in the US. So that's the nutshell. You know, I don't make crazy money doing this, and so I need to think about, you know, saving for healthcare costs and someday retiring. I don't really plan on retiring really ever, but you never know. You know, you could have some health issue down the road where you're not able to work, so it's good to plan for retiring, even if, you know, maybe I don't actually do that and I work till my dying day, which might be kind of fun for me at least. We'll see. But but yeah, so it hopefully will allow me to save, and, you know, for myself and my husband, and allow us to afford healthcare and not worry about that kind of thing so much. But also, it's a really interesting country and cool. Yeah. But you can watch the longer version of that on that video if you want. The link is in the chat. All right. So let's see. Yeah, I think I'm almost ready. Someone says, hey Janet, love from the dark wee hours in the Netherlands, but very sunny days. Well, hello to you. Thanks for all the really interesting emojis. Appreciate it. All right. So I will be, oh, there's also a newbie sort of like heads up video where you can, you know, listen to the basics of how these healings work. I can put that, it's in the info section of this live stream, so that would probably be the easiest way. It should be in the info section. It better be in the info section. Of this live stream, I think it is. Let's say it is. But anyway, so you can look at that if you don't know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. It's a 5-minute newbie video. Maybe like orientation video. It's also on my YouTube channel page if you're not subscribed. That'll be the video I think that is suggested. Okay. So now I will do the 3 minutes of quiet, and towards the end of that, I will start the healing. And then for the most part of the healing, I will be saying out loud what I'm doing as I do it. So you could heal yourself as you watch, follow it along like a walkthrough if you want. Oh, and if someone could put in the chat, how long have I been live streaming so far? I don't know if anyone kept track of that, but that could be interesting for me to know. So I'm going to start my timer. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for your patience. So let's start with grounding. So you can recreate both of your groundings. You have two groundings, one for your spirit, one for your physical body. Make them as wide as all your auras. So if you were to stick out your arms like that, as wide as where your wrists are, or the palm of your hand, as wide as that. And bring your groundings up high as your third chakra, which is below your sternum. So here's your sternum, that bone in the middle there. So then just below that, that's where your third chakra is. Your third chakra helps with productivity, which we will work in next month's healing theme, productivity and abundance. So bring up both your groundings that high as your third chakra, and go ahead and test out your groundings. Test out each of the three colors. So make both your groundings red. See how that feels for you, and you can make a copy out in front of you and use gold light and comb through your red grounding and find some energy blocks and melt them with gold light from your hands. So you have a hand chakra and fingertip chakras. Set them with your intention. Do a metallic gold color like this glitter. You don't have to see any energy to do that. Just think it. Set your intention. Make these chakras gold so they generate gold light, right? And then use that gold light to unblock your groundings while they're red, and then go ahead and change the color of both of your groundings to orange, any shade of orange that you want, and then use the gold light from your hands to melt away energy blocks in your groundings at orange. And then change your groundings to be yellow, both of them. And then use gold light from your hands to find some energy blocks and melt away energy blocks in your grounding. And the point of the 3 colors is sometimes one color will help you to release more than a different color, but also if you unblock at 3 colors, it just makes you more versatile later then in the near future. That you could switch to a different grounding color and you've already cleared a bunch at that color. If you change your energy, you're harder for people to control. And plus you're then able to, fine tune your experience and make things more ideal for your own growth. But, being less predictable is helpful if people are trying to work their way into your space and shut you down. So anyway, then use gold light and rinse out the outer surface of your groundings and melt away any cords from other people going into your groundings, and melt away any hard objects that could be sticking out of your grounding. Say if someone threw some, like a hard object and it got halfway stuck in your grounding, just pop that out and have it explode. Or melt it with the gold light. You want the groundings to stay wide all the way down to the core of the earth, because that makes you stronger and harder to control and helps you to release baggage without getting all triggered and freaked out. Also, as part of, it's sort of like a cousin of grounding, is to unblock the bottom of all your auras from like your feet on down, or maybe like from like your thigh height on down, all your auras, because all your 17 auras, they wrap all around you, front, back, above you, below you, all that, right? But if they're especially blocked at the bottom, it works against your attempts to release energy, because it's like you're sitting in this hard bowl of blocked energy. So go ahead and find those hard bowls of blocked energy and just melt them away with gold light from your hands. So comb through the lower part of all your auras, from say your thighs on down, and especially below your feet, and melt away any hardness. So energetically, flow is what makes you strong. If you have hardness, it's not protective. It just makes your aura more brittle, and it makes it tear more easily. And also, energy blocks and baggage tend to be hard. So you don't want that baggage. You want to just melt it away and move forward with your life, right? So it's just the lower part of all your 17 auras, comb through them, and especially unblock, so that nothing stands in the way of you releasing what would be optimal for you. You don't want any traffic jams in your space. So you can just breathe into your body, see how that feels. All right, good job, good job. So now we will do that proactive 3-step process that I talked about in the before the healing. So that top one right there, clear STEBs. So let's do that first. Just make a big gold blanket out in front of you. Imagine one, create it. And then pile onto it copies of anything that's triggered in your space. It could be triggered from what I already said in this live stream, or it could be triggered, because of something that happened to you earlier today, or something you read or heard, or, something culturally or politically or whatever, right? So just pile all the triggered energy or copies of it out on the blanket. And you can bring up a red grounding and soak all that baggage with red earth energy. And that just helps to drain out energy from it, say your energy or other people's energy. And you can use gold light and start melting cords from people that are going into this baggage. And an important thing you can do is just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And that way, if it's not, if some of it's too much for right now, your angels will remove it from your pile or your piles. And then the second thing that I would suggest that you ask your angels is, your angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting this stuff? So recycling just means basically they're destroyed. But the angels, it's your angel's call on whether they should be destroyed or not. And that way, it's good for you. They do it. And so so then just so now all you have is some energy blocks, right? So just use extra gold light, make sure everybody else's energy is out of the blocks before you clear them. And that just helps with having less backlash then later. Like if your bossy sister is no longer courting these blocks, then when you clear them, she doesn't receive a burst of energy and think, well, what is she doing? She might not even notice if she's all washed out of the blocks first. So wash everybody out, including yourself. And then you can keep using gold light to melt them fully or just blow them up, whichever you prefer. So one more time quickly, gold blanket, put the blocks out in front of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle? Angels, can you recycle beings? And then just melt cords, wash everybody out with gold light, and melt the blocks or blow them up. All right, and then the third step is even easier because angels do it all. So recycling lurkers, you just say, angels, can you please recycle all my lurkers? Which your angels would understand what that means. But it means just all the invasive beings that you've knocked out of your space and they're just outside of your aura waiting to make trouble later. So that's that. All right, so that is this three-step little process. I'm spacing. I don't know how much of the proactive clearing I just did. I know I didn't explain it properly. I'm sorry. This is the first time we're doing proactive clearing in this particular way in the stream. So I may have just completely jumped over it. So make a big old blanket out in front of you and put onto it any energy blocks that would be triggered if you got more present through the rest of this healing, because I'm awesome and you're awesome and you probably would get more present, right? So proactively just use your intuition and your intention and just pile all the baggage that would get triggered by you getting more present, old baggage that's in your space, right? So you have all that baggage out in front of you. It's not triggered yet. but it's likely to get triggered, and why not clear it first, right? So angels, can you recycle any, no, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this? So that way your angels can sort through it for you. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hoarding this stuff? Okay, so then the rest you can do easily. So just bring up red earth energy, soak it all, gold light, melt cords from people, just random people that are hoarding it subconsciously, and just keep using gold light till you melt it all. Or blow it up. So again, we'll do proactive clearing in case that kicked out some invasive beings, and now you have more lurkers. So angels, can you recycle my lurkers? All right. So now we really did all 3 steps for sure. I will get better at walking people through that. Practice, right? So now we will just keep going with the 5 essentials. So we did grounding already, and now we will do aura repair, including gold mesh spheres of the Weiqi auras. So we'll do that like second. First we'll just, okay. So you have 17 auras, as I've already explained, and let me make myself a little bigger. You can see what I'm doing. So you have 17 auras, but you know, life is not perfect. People are not perfect. People have a lot of subconscious rage typically. Maybe not you personally, but other people that you know. And so people do throw energy, which I call a whack, which can damage your auras depending on how flowing and strong they are, or stuck and rigid they are. So let's repair any damage to any of your auras that you may have. And we can pretty much repair them all at once, easily. So we'll do that. Because you could, well, first make a copy of all your auras out in front of you. So it's like, it looks like one big bubble, but it's really 17 bubbles in one place, all your 17 auras. And then in the middle, right in the center of that, that's where your physical body is, and you as a spirit, if you're somewhat present. You know, so like your astral body is there, which is you as a spirit, and then your physical body is there, right? And then both your groundings going down to the core of the earth. And hopefully nice and wide as all your auras. If not, you know, go ahead and coax them out so they're that wide. And so you can first do a spot check and see if you sense any rips in your auras. And if you do, go ahead and, you know, if you wanted to do local repair, which when I'm healing myself, a lot of times that's what I do, unless I just have a bunch or I'm just feeling impatient, and then I'll repair them all at once, which we're going to do in a second. But if you want to find just one rip or one area of rips and just blast it with a lot of gold light, you just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are blocking this repair, in the way of this repair? And just keep using gold light. Let any hard objects that are stuck in there pop out and destroy. Just keep using the gold light, and you might have to say a few times, you know, angels, can you recycle any beings in the way of this repair? And the gold light, when you finally got it cleaned out enough, then the gold light starts filling up as if you're like pouring gold liquid into a cup. And you just, and it fills up. But before that, you know, there could be invasive beings in the way or whatever, and so you might not see progress. But once all the invasive beings are out of the way, then it fills up like this gold cup, and it all just sort of recreates itself, your auras. So just keep doing that until it's like a nice rounded surface where the rip used to be. And so that's localized, right? So then now we will repair all your auras at the same time, which maybe is more newbie friendly if you don't trust yourself to find a localized area where you have a rip. So you just create an image of a rip out in front of you, And with your intention, you say, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips that I have in all my auras right now, right? And then you do a similar process to what we just did, but with this composite copy representing all your rips. So you're repairing all your rips at once, right? So with this, you could blast it with gold light to clean it out properly and fully. But you could also use sticky gold wax, you know, fill it with gold light from your hands that sticks to whatever's not you and forms a lump. So sticky gold wax, fill it up, and then lift out all the junk at once, like with the stuck to the gold wax. Lift it all out, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax, lift it out, angels, here you go. So then you get that gold light as deep as you can. If you miss a couple hard objects, you might feel them like little toothpicks in the way, and just lift them out, give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift them out, give them to your angels. Get the gold light really deep in there to saturate all those punctures and rips. And then just it starts filling up and repairing. So just keep doing that until it's a nice smooth outer surface. And then the gold mesh spheres, because you know a bunch of these auras are Wei Qi auras, and then they would have those gold mesh spheres, and maybe they're not continuous now where the rip used to be. So just use a lot of gold light where those gold mesh spheres are missing. And right at the perimeter, sometimes there's like sort of stuck yuckiness. You can say angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way, and just you maybe do one gold mesh sphere at a time until they just grow back. And there may be, you know, an invasive being in the way still. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? And just those mesh spheres grow back. Which is nice, because then you get more gold light coming towards you all the time. So that probably repaired most of the rips, but we'll do it again quickly, just to repair any leftover rips. So take a copy out in front of you with your intention. Say, okay, this represents any leftover rips. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Gold light as deep as you can get it. Say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them? And just let it fill up with gold light and go back fully. And just be recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair. All right. So then you can just check the outer perimeter, see if there's any hard objects sticking out, melt those away, see if there's any little leaks that you feel, and you can do a little extra there. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? Alrighty. Let's see. So we'll do just a little extra with the gold mesh spheres. So if you have a copy out in front of you of all your auras, then 15 of those 17 have gold mesh spheres, or should. So, but like I said, there could be gaps, or they could just be like sort of coated with, you know, heavy energy blocks. So just use your intention and unblock them all at once. All right. Good job, good job. So that is aura repair, including repairing the gold mesh spheres of the Wei Qi auras. How about that? It is quite hot here. Not usually this hot when I live stream. All right. So now. So this will be easy. This is another one of the 5 essentials. So your creative rings are up here, 1, 2, 3. They are part of your astral body energy system. So you as a spirit. And it's another part of your system that generates gold light if it's happy and healthy. So you can make a copy up in front of you of your 3 gold creative rings. And they just sit on one on top of each other. Yeah, I was going to show you with little dog chew toys that are round shaped, but maybe just imagine it because those aren't gold. So it's like 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings, and they're right up here, right? So you can make a giant copy if you want. Sometimes that's fun because you can see damage more easily if the copy's really big. But sometimes if I want, I can make a really tiny copy because maybe it helps me to saturate it with gold light better. So whatever you're in the mood for, tiny copy, big copy, fine. You can even spread out the 3 gold rings because it's just a copy. So spread them all out, 1, 2, 3, and heal the top and the bottom at the same time of each one. And then you can flip over your copies to see the bottoms more clearly. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my creative rings? And you can do sticky gold wax with your creative rings to unblock them. So sticky gold wax, all of them have the wax stick to, you know, whatever's not you. And it's healthy and gentle to clear right now. And then just lift the wax out away from the creative rings and just give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Thank you. Got ice water delivery. How cool is that? I only drink ice water during a heat wave because my body can't handle cool things a lot of times, but during a heat wave, I make the exception. Oh. Oh, right. That's nice. So again, sticky gold wax your creative rings. Have it stick to whatever is healthy and gentle for you to get rid of right now from your creative rings. Clearing your creative rings, it's really useful. It helps you have focus, which is one of our themes. And it can help you wake up better, have better sleep, just function better. So sticky gold wax, those creative rings, get everything out that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, have it stick to the sticky gold wax, and then just lift all that junk out at once. Angels, here you go. And you can stack your creative rings up how they normally are, one on top of the other with little free space in between. And just check the flaps, because you want the flaps to be relaxed and shut. So this is what it looks like when they're stuck open. They stick out like that. If they're irritated, your creative rings are irritated because people are hoarding or invasive beings are hoarding you, they'll stick out. So you don't want that. So just double check. It's a good way to see if you need a little more work with your creative rings if the flaps are sticking out. Sometimes they'll just be like 2 on either side, or 4, 1 on each extreme, front, back, and the sides. But just go ahead and melt the cords from people or invasive beings. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my creative rings? And I just let those flaps fall shut. And a lot of times there's a nice chain reaction where the flaps of your chakras also fall shut. So then, it's harder for people to hoard your chakras. So very nice, good for boundaries. Oh, right. So that's creative ring repairing and unblocking. Okay, so first we'll do the standard chakra repair and unblock process where we do them all at once, all major and minor chakras at the same time, using a composite copy. And we'll repair and unblock and melt cords, all that good stuff. But then we will repair chakra gates, which are a part of your astral body, energy system, you as a spirit. So I'll explain to that when we get to it. It's easy. We did it in the final healing last month too. Okay, so this is the basic chakra shape, open cylinder, equally open on both ends, right? So just make a copy like that and have it represent, with your intention, just say, okay, well, this represents all my chakras. All. So not just 7 astral and 7 physical, which are along your spine, but even the cool acupuncture points that you have throughout your body, those are little chakras. And you have extra chakras like in your limbs to keep the energy flowing, near your joints, all sorts of places, right? So just make one copy out in front of you and just say, okay, this represents all my chakras of my body and my spirit. And then just use gold light, red earth energy if you want. You can bring that up in the core of the earth and soak your composite copy chakra in red earth energy and gold light. Just melt cords from people going into the chakras. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my chakras? And that's not a perfect command, that works 100%, because your angels are only going to recycle what you can handle at that moment. So that's why I end up in a healing saying it a billion times. Because they do it in batches. So, and you have flaps around the outer openings of your chakras. So just like with crater rings, if they're irritated, they stick out like that, which you don't want, because that makes it easier for people to cord you. So just keep melting cords with gold light from people. And you could melt cords from invasive beings, but you may as well just get them recycled by your angels so they're not around to try again later. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are cording my chakras? And then the energy blocks, they could be blocking the round openings or wrapped around the chakras or stuffed inside. So you could just lift out with your intention, just lift out the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle. And right now, lift them out of all your chakras and then just use lots of gold light to melt the blocks. So lift out the blocks, use lots of gold light, melt everybody out of the blocks, and melt the blocks. Deep breath, how does that feel? Bring it into your body. So again, check in with those flaps, the chakra flaps, see if they're falling shut. A lot of times you have to keep unblocking, like it's not just like, 5 seconds and now all my chakras are perfectly unblocked. Because your chakras may have like a backlog of things they've been trying to clear. So once you clear some, then your chakra kind of spits out more and there's more kind of queued up for you to clear. So you're not crazy if you unblock and then like 10 seconds later there's more there, or 5 seconds later. It's just like a backlog. Couple deep breaths. All right, so that's good enough for chakra repair and unblocking. We could do specific chakra repair for helping the themes. But I think we'll repair chakra gates first, and then we'll double back and do chakra unblocking to help the themes. So chakra gates, that's what we're going to do now. So I'll just move this over. Right, so chakra gates, it's like a gold mesh. It's like as if it's a ribbon, about this wide. And it'll be in front of one of your astral body chakras in that astral body aura layer. So they're in all different locations. you know, so your first astral body, your astral body first chakra is right here below your astral body belly button. And so then it's like a ribbon of gold mesh, flowy gold mesh right there. And then your second chakra is below your belly button. There we go. So, and your second layer is right there, a little further out. So that would be where your second chakra gate is. Your third chakra of your astral body is right there. So your third layer is a little further out. So that would be where the third chakra gate is, fourth chakra gate, fifth chakra gate, sixth chakra gate. Seventh chakra gate is up here in the seventh layer above the seventh chakra. So that's where the chakra gates are, but that's kind of annoying to repair them all at once if they're all in this, you know, different spot. So I like to just heal and repair and unblock copies of your chakra gates and just line them all up out in front of you. So first chakra gate, second chakra gate, third chakra gate, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just all in front, right? And so just heal the copies of your chakra gates out in front of you. And again, the real ones are in your astral body or layers like right here and the seventh ones up here. But just use lots of gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in or around or according my chakra gates? And you may find that it kind of looks like someone put their foot through one of them. You know, it's not like a continuous ribbon. And it's just because they were whacking and so it ripped. So you can just use enough gold light so it grows back. You could do a composite copy if you wanted of all your chakra gates. That might be interesting. So it just looks like one gold flowing ribbon, but it represents all 7 of your chakra gates of your astral body chakras. So that might be a little more efficient and quick. Maybe not as accurate, because then if you still have one that's still damaged, it might be hard to notice this way. But you could get a bunch that repaired on this way and then double check with them separate if you want. Like you can repair them all at once, pop out any hard objects, have the hard objects destroy. So angels be recycle any invasive beings hooked into my chakra gates. Lift out blocks from your chakra gates that are healthy, gentle, or clear. Melt those blocks. Lift out the blocks from your chakra gates. Melt them away. And then, you know, if you wanted to, you could spread out your copies of your chakra gates again and just look to see which one is still needing more repair. And you could try to make it obvious, like have it, you know, kind of beat like a beating heart if it needs more work or something, or have your angels light it up in fluorescent pink, or, you know, if it needs more repair. Say, angels, can you point it out to me which one needs more repair? Or you could just, with your intention, like put out in front of you the chakra gate that still needs repair, you know, the one that most still needs repair, and then just work on that one. And you don't have to know which one it is, just work on it. There's a lot of gold light. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? All right. So there was something I wanted to go back to. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to just do a little bit extra repair and unblocking of the chakras now that we did that little extra assist for the astral body chakras. So you have your composite copy representing all your chakras. Looks somewhat like this, right? And lift out any baggage in the way of your communication, perception, or focus. That's healthy and gentle right now. So just imagine that, lift out the baggage, and you can melt everyone out of the baggage. The angels, if there are any invasive beings courting this junk, can you recycle them? And just keep using gold light until all the baggage melts. Deep breath, because that's kind of a big step. So let your body kind of catch up to what you just did. And then again, imagine your composite copy representing all your chakras. Imagine the baggage is healthy and gentle to clear right now. That would help your, if you cleared it, it would help your communication, perception, and focus. Lift that out. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hoarding this junk? And just melt everybody out of the way. And then melt the baggage or blow it up. All right. Good job. Good job. So that was repairing and unblocking all your chakras, and then repairing and unblocking all your chakra gates of your astral body chakras. And both individually with copies out in front of you, and also using a composite copy of all your chakra gates. And then more theme related unblocking of all your chakras. All right. That's a lot. Okay, so base of skull points, those are back here. They're acupuncture points. And you have meridians that go throughout your body, energy pathways. And traditional Chinese medicine has hopefully mapped them for us and named them and all that good stuff. So the back of skull points are just those dots on the diagram. Those are little chakras. And in reality, they're shaped this way and they kind of fit into the meridian. So they help keep the flow of energy within the meridian going. So the meridians from left to center that you're looking at are gallbladder meridian, the blue-green one, and urinary bladder meridian, UB, the yellow one. And that midline meridian going up the back and around the head, ending in the roof of the mouth, is the governing vessel meridian, GV, governing vessel. And that one helps to manage all your yang meridians. So that one's even more consequential. But they're all helpful in countless ways. So anyway, you can heal. Just imagine a copy out in front of you, similar to what you're looking at, but representing your back of head area. And all these meridians, ideally, they would look on an energy level like red flowy tubes with red flowy energy of yours and your bodies in it. But they can look like white and crusty, black and crusty, and split open, you know, all sorts of different ways. So you want to use gold light and heal them so that they become red and flowy again if there's any problem anywhere. So even if you can't see, you could do this with your intention. That's fine. Or your intuition or your imagination. And if you feel like, oh, I can't see energy, Janet, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you can make a giant copy and that helps because it's like this giant pipe and it should have this, you know, all this water flowing through it. And maybe it does, but only on one side. And maybe if it's really giant, you can kind of tell that, like as you run your fingers through it, like, okay, that seems to flow and that one feels like a bag of rocks right there, you know? And so then you just use extra gold light on the bag of rocks and melt those rocks away. So specifically, I'm healing the governing vessel meridian right now, that one, the midline one, but you could do that with any meridian. Make a giant copy and check for what part of it's flowing and what part of it's not flowing. So sometimes just making it giant can help your perception, your ability to perceive how it's doing and how the effects of your work and what part you need to work more on. But other times, feeling the comparing one thing to another can help you notice a difference. Like, oh, I didn't really notice much, but now that I'm comparing it to this, oh yeah, this one flows much better than this one. So we could do that as we do the yellow line meridians, the urinary bladder meridian, right? You could compare the left side, your left side one to your right side one, you know, in the back there. And that flows downward right there naturally. And so you just, I mean, you can comb through it any direction you want, but if you know the natural direction of flow, maybe that's a little better. But you can compare the left side to the right side and just look for stuck parts. Make a giant copy if you need to notice things as you work. Switch back to doing the midline meridian, the GV meridian again, especially that top point right there. You barely see it in the diagram. It's a dot right in the top of the head. Because GV meridian, you know, it continues and goes down this way and ends in the roof of your mouth. So there's GV20 is right in the top of your head. So at that point, it's oriented this way. You know, round opening in the front, round opening in the back, except it's a very small, you know, like maybe that wide, you know. So, but you just make a giant copy out in front of you so you can imagine if you need to unblock it or repair it. You may have like spears sticking out of it, looking like, you know, daggers or thorns or something. Pop those out and use a lot of gold light. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? The reason you might have invasive beings, or you often have invasive beings around a damaged area, is because damaged areas leak energy, and invasive beings like that sort of leaking energy. They're drawn to it, like a moth to a flame. So just use lots of gold light and let that grow back. So it's a nice, solid chakra without, you know, a big gaping hole and a bunch of spears in the top of it. And unblock the back surface of GV20, background opening of GV20. GV20 gives kind of like a calming effect, so it's very nice. And then the gallbladder one, the blue-green one, I haven't done that yet, so that direction of flow is downward right there. It starts near the eye and zigzags a bunch in the side of the head in kind of a cool way. So if you typically have headaches in the side of your head, you might have a problem with your gallbladder meridian weight sheet aura right there. It might be ripped up, and then the meridian itself might be all damaged. You just use lots of gold light to repair. But anyway, we'll just do the part that we can see in the diagram of that gallbladder meridian. Blue-green line right there. Do a little on the back of the sides of the head without looking at the diagram. Just send lots of gold. The gallbladder meridian, the one we're doing, the outer one in the diagram, helps with self-assertiveness, which I really love when I'm self-assertive. It's like the indecision can be so paralyzing because I don't know. Because if you don't know about so many things at once, it's like paralyzing. So being able to decide, even if you just decide, you know, that I'll deal with next week, this I'm dealing with today, that I'm dealing with in 2 weeks, you know, that level of decisiveness is very grounding. So anyway, in honor of that, go ahead and unblock your gallbladder meridian weight sheet, or especially on the sides, because it zigzags down the side of your body. Just imagine any energy blocks in your gallbladder meridian, Wei Qi aura. And your gallbladder meridian, especially the part that we can see in this diagram. And your gallbladder meridian, Wei Qi aura, goes behind your head too. You can comb through all your auras, all 17 of your auras behind this base of skull area, and just through your head and the back of your, your auras right there, and just get a whole bunch of energy blocks. Just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all these right now? And then, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting this junk? And then just use lots of gold light and melt quartz from people, melt everybody's energy out. And keep using gold light so it all melts fully, or blow it up. Okay, one more time. With your hands and gold light, comb through a copy of the back of your head. So it's like you could see it in a profile, and just comb through wonk and just comb out a bunch of energy blocks in your head, in those meridians in the back of your head, and in the back of all your auras. Just get a whole chunk of energy blocks. Say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting this junk? Breath. And then lots of gold light. Melt quartz from people. Melt everybody out. And melt the blocks or blow them up. If you have any left over, just wrap them up in gold light. Give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? So now we will do the other part of back of head stuff, which is Good Karma Windows, which I generally abbreviate as GKW, but for the newbies, I will spell it out as well. And that's my term for these places in the back of your astral body aura layers that help with boundaries and help you bring in positive change energy of yours. So they're right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one in each of your astral body aura layers. And the general shape of them is like a triple frame square or 3 concentric squares. So that's the general shape of a Good Karma window. So you could just imagine them like in a profile like that and repair and unblock them all. Just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting this area? And the invasive beings, some of them could have already woven their way in because of damage and then anchored themselves into one of the chakras, in the base of skull area, or one of your bigger major chakras along your spine. So it's kind of like if you weed in a garden, you just freeze these invasive beings that are back here. Because it's your space, you're in charge. So with your intention, you can freeze anything that's in your space. So just freeze it, and just drag it out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Freeze it, drag it out. Angels, here you go. If that spooks you, you can just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this area? But if it doesn't spook you, then it's kind of better to be like a big boss of your space, because then it's like you kind of are read as more of a badass, and then invasive beings, some of them are going to just stay away from you. And maybe some people also can read that as like a level of confidence and skill. So up to you, do what doesn't freak you out, obviously. But just food for thought there. So freeze any invasive beings, drag them out. Angels, here you go. Sometimes I like to think of them as like invasive being ice cubes, especially if it's really hot out. But I don't know. Invasive being ice cubes, and just grab them and give to your angels. You can check them one by one intuitively, see if there are any cracks or damage, and use a lot of gold light to repair the damage. And the goal is not perfection. The goal is, good enough, especially if you're tight on time. You know, it's much better to do good enough repair than not at all. Right? Okay, so we did good karma windows. We repaired them and unblocked them. So now I have a neat little thing that I want to do. So we can, since we already did repair and unblock your chakra gates, and we already did repair just, you know, recently after chakra repair, and then we already did repair and unblock the good karma windows just now. We kind of did the heavy lifting, so now we can do like fine tuning and kind of enjoy in a geeky way, like how it feels to heal both of these things at the same time. And they are both a part of your astral body aura. Good karma windows are back here. And chakra gates are, you know, mostly in front here, and the seventh one is up here. So it's like here and back here of your astral body. But rather than, you know, remembering all the locations and stuff, you can just line up copies out in front of you. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of your good karma windows, and then just lay out the chakra gates, you know, the gold flowy ribbon looking gates, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just kind of enjoy. So first chakra, second chakra, third, you know, you can arrange them so that it's the same, you know, like seventh chakra gate is directly above seventh good karma window. Not that it has to be that way, it's maybe slightly more interesting that way. And this is just, you know, a little more advanced. If it blows your mind, don't bother, or just say, angels, can you do that for me if I need it? You can, yeah, just use gold light. Wash everybody out. You might have people courting in these areas, and maybe it's easier to see if you look at all at once. Maybe there's some invasive beings messing around. Just angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with any of this, can you recycle? And since we're doing fine tuning, we can also fine tune a bit extra to help the themes: communication, perception, and focus, right? So as we are doing this, healing all the 7 good karma windows and all the 7 chakra gates at the same time, just have that intention that you're going to melt and unblock and repair to the extent that's healthy and gentle to help this theme, right? So just think about that as you do it. You know, with your intention, I want to help my communication, I want to help my perception, I want to help my focus. And maybe you have a personal goal that isn't within that theme that you want to work on. Like, say you want to get to bed earlier at night, or you want to, you know, get back to working out, or start working out, or work out more regularly, or, you know, stop binge eating or whatever, right? So just think of your personal goal that you have as you heal these things now. So heal your 7 good karma windows and your 7 chakra gates as you think of your personal goal, and just melt away anything in the way that's healthy and gentle to clear right now in the way of that personal goal of yours. So just see how that feels. Take a couple deep breaths. So we did it for the theme, and we also did it for a personal goal of yours. All right, so good job, good job, good job. How about that? Pretty fancy, huh? Let's celebrate with some gold confetti. Woohoo! You're so impressive. Oh my goodness. So that was really helpful for you as a spirit, and indirectly for your body as well. But let's do something that's more directly beneficial for your physical body to help complement that. Right? So this is where we will do the 3-step wrap up that helps all joints. So that third step right there at the bottom will be unblocking your creative rings, your 7 and 7, meaning your 7 physical body chakras and your 7 astral body chakras, the major ones, but then all your joints. So shoulder joints, hip joints, all the cool little joints in your fingers and your toes, elbows, wrists, feet, yada, yada, yada. So this should be cool. Let me take a ice water break. So hot. Okay, so first up, we can recycle lurkers, just to get them out of the way. So angels, can you recycle my lurkers? Which, of course, are your basic beings that you've knocked out of your space, but they're still looking to make mischief, so they're hanging out, a foot outside of your aura or up to 10 feet outside your aura, kind of keeping an eye on you. So we don't want that. Angels, can you recycle my lurkers? So then we'll clear STEBs. STEBs stands for stubborn triggered energy blocks. Big gold blanket out from you. Pile onto it copies of anything that's triggered for you. Anything at all. It doesn't matter why it's triggered. Doesn't matter how long it's been triggered. Just pile it out in front of you. And say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? So angels can sort through it and pick out stuff that's not good to clear right now. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting this stuff? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then you can do the rest, just lots of gold light, melt everybody out, melt their cords out of all these blocks. And melt yourself out. And just keep using gold light till it all melts, or you can blow it up. Deep breath. So that final step now, including all joints. So H and G is healthy and gentle. So just imagine a copy of yourself out in front of you, and imagine, your creative rings above your astral body head. Use gold light for those, and your 7 and 7, meaning your major chakras along your spine. 7 physical body chakras and 7 astral body chakras. Use gold light to unblock those and balance them. You might want to spend a little extra time on the lower 3 or 4 of the 7. Unblocking and melting cords. People. We say angels can recycle any invasive beings that are messing with this unblocking. And all your joints. Go ahead and use gold light and red earth energy for all your joints. Bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth and soak all your joints, which includes very cool spinal joints. So you have disc joints and facet joints in your spine, shown in light blue right there. So the facet joints, if you're looking from behind at your 2 vertebrae, that's the facet joints are the little blue, light blue areas. And then the disc joint, you can't see it so well from that angle, but The disc joints, it looks like cookie filling in between each of your vertebrae. That's a disc joint. So run gold light through and red earth energy through all your disc joints and your facet joints of your spine. And through your joints in this diagram that you see, so your hip joints and your sacroiliac joints right there, because your spine goes down, and then you have your sacrum right there, and that there's a joint there in between your sacrum and both of your big ilium bones in your hips. Lots of gold light. Wash everything out that's not you there. And the joints all the way down. Your knee joints, all the joints in your knees, your ankles, your feet. Basically, wherever two bones come together, there's a joint there. So there's so many little bones in your feet. You have a lot of little joints in your feet. Right? So lots of gold light and red earth energy. All your joints. So then you just sort of bounce around and, creative rings again, major chakras again along your spine. And then all your joints again. Don't forget your arms, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers. Lots of joints there in your fingers and your wrists. And your elbows and your shoulders are so important. And sometimes there are invasive energies that come in from a top. And so you might notice it like it looks kind of like a white little river that goes down, white or silver typically, and it go down through certain joints. And it's just an invasive being or a couple. So you can just, if you notice anything like that, just say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? And that way it's easier for you to be present in your joints. Joints are nice anchor points for you as a spirit. But likewise, if you're not so present in them, then they're nice anchor points for invasive beings. So you want to unblock them and get present in them if you're not. Well, it helps them function better, and it helps you with energy boundaries with people as well as invasive beings. So again, just bounce around between joints and major chakras and creative rings. And then if you can just gather up invasive beings that are hooking into a lot of that, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? So now that you're aware of creative rings, major chakras along your spine and all your joints, again, just gather up any, they can look like ropes. Just gather up any invasive energies, cording any of that stuff. Angels, can you recycle all this? And that way, if one of them is actually your brother and not an invasive being, your angels won't recycle him. Don't worry. Even if you want them to. Alrighty. Great job, great job, great job. All right. That's it. There's some energy there. On a day when I'm feeling smart, when I'm being smart, let's see, let me make a different heading for this. Okay, so on a day when I'm acting more wisely, I will stop just like I did there for a minute. And if I don't feel quite right, I'll just clear some energy and heal and unblock or whatever, just for a minute or so, or a couple minutes if I have the time and I want to. But, I'll do something to readjust my energy rather than just kind of brute strengthening, just like pushing through it without clearing and healing to make it more easy. I'll just do it the hard way instead. Like, for example, last night when I was trying to get everything done, just the finishing couple things I need to finish last night for this stream. I mean, I did a lot of prep today too, but there was certain things that I really needed to finish last night for it. And I was like, push, trying to get it done, and before it got too late. Because the later it gets, the more tired I get, the less efficient I am, and then it's just a mess. So, not always, but sometimes. So it's always good for me to finish in a timely manner. But anyway, I didn't pause as frequently as I should have to clear energy. And so it was kind of like just slogging through it. It's like I didn't feel like super great when I was doing some of the work, and I could have felt much better had I just taken a minute or two a couple times. But I had that sense of like, oh, I gotta finish, like a fear that if I take a break, then I won't finish, which is ridiculous, because if you take a break, you're going to be more healed and present, and then you'll work better and smarter and more efficiently. But that's the thing. I mean, you can know things, but to put what you know into practice, when you're in, especially when you're in a pressure situation, is sort of the ultimate goal, to use your knowledge to improve your life. And obviously I do improve my life quite a bit with my energy knowledge, but there's still times when it's like, oh, totally could have taken a few little quick breaks to to clear and heal and rebalance, so anyway, I just wanted to remind everybody about that. And we do have something that will help that, actually. Not the very next thing the very next thing might actually help with that too, but then the one after that will help even more. So let's get going with that. Next two things. Okay, so this is an exercise that we did this exact way in the last healing, last month, the final healing of the twin set of July 2026. So we're going to do it mostly the same way, but we'll do it for general benefit, you know, to have healthy realizations and then helpful realizations, and then we'll do it specifically to help the theme. So you have realizations that help your communication, your perception, and your focus. Which, you know, could involve that example that I was just talking about of like where you have this realization of like, no, I need to stop right now and just, you know, heal myself for a second. But anyway, so let's do it. So you imagine, and I wrote there mind garden in parentheses, because you can imagine your mind in a whole bunch of different ways. I just sort of prefer the garden, but you can imagine your mind as a beach or as a forest or as a single flower or two flowers or single tree or two trees, whatever you want. But I'm going to imagine two gardens that are side by side and connected by a gold flowy wall. And one represents your subconscious mind and one represents your conscious mind. And then that gold flowy wall is the divider between your conscious and your subconscious mind, which is healthy to have. You just want it to be gold and flowing so that you don't have like unhealthy levels of repression and denial that aren't good for you. You want to know what you need to know when you need to know it, you know. So anyway, so you can take this opportunity to just heal both your subconscious and your conscious mind with the gold light and that flowy barrier. Wash everybody out of the flowy barrier. Wash everybody out of each garden. And of course, you want to, you know, have your intention healthy and gentle. You just want to heal and unblock to the extent that's healthy and gentle. And you can imagine some blocks that would be really helpful for you to melt and healthy and gentle. Just imagine them like really obviously, like giant gold piles of, or giant black bricks, or, you know, giant black walls, or a big pile of trash, something obvious so it kind of jumps out at you so you can know to melt it away. So just imagine things that would be healthy for you to melt away right now from your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. And just take the time to do that with gold light. You can say, angels, if there's any invasive beings in the way of this clearing, can you recycle them? And not only that, you could actually like sort of scoop through and gather up any invasive beings that are in the area and just say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? So again, scoop through both your gardens, sweep together a bunch, like kind of like dust bunnies when you're sweeping the floor, right? So you just sweep together any invasive beings in your minds and say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? And if that freaks you out too much, you can just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in my conscious or subconscious mind? So, so the exercise, melt denial nets, color balls. So that was basically just a mind healing, right? And we could do a blue soak too. Why not? So bring up blue earth energy from the core of the earth, add a blue color, and use that blue earth energy to soak the flowy boundary between the two minds, and use the blue earth energy to soak both your conscious and your subconscious mind. And just use gold light and blue earth energy and just soak it. Enjoy how that feels. And blue earth energy is too fast moving, most likely for your lower chakras, but it's not too fast moving for your mind. So you soak for your mind. And you could leave that up all the time if you want. Or, you know, wash it out. So anyway, the colored balls, you can imagine colored balls, like rainbow colored balls, or gold, that represent helpful realizations that are healthy and gentle for you to have now or in the immediate future. But they're in your subconscious mind. They're not actually in your conscious mind. And to have them as a realization, they'd have to pop into your conscious mind, right? But the ones that are easy to become aware of, you can just clear some blocks and they'll pop over. So we could do that. We could imagine some ones that are easier to become aware of. So imagine those colored balls representing helpful realizations in your subconscious mind that are simpler and easier to become aware of. And just imagine a big pile of energy blocks that if you clear these blocks, that'll help those come into your consciousness, right? Just imagine the energy blocks that you need to clear in order for those to pop into your consciousness. You say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting these blocks? Deep breath. And then just go ahead and melt everybody out with gold light from your hands. And melt yourself out and melt the blocks. Or blow them up. And you should see a lot of the gold or rainbow colored balls pop over into your conscious mind right now. And if not, you can melt some extra energy blocks to make the rest of them pop into your conscious mind. And so just imagine a bunch of more energy blocks if you need to. And just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all these right now? And then go ahead and use a lot of gold light. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Couple deep breaths. All right, good job. So chances are probably all of the colored balls that you were imagining are now in your conscious mind. And you could take the time right now if you wanted to kind of intuit and maybe journal and think about what each one, at least what area of your life they relate to. Maybe some of them relate to a relationship issue that you have, or some relate to, your abundance or your employment situation or whatever. But you don't have to. Now they're in your conscious mind garden. They'll just inform you when needed, and you'll just maybe realize how to solve a problem, or you'll be able to do something that you couldn't do before. So now we will do the melt denial nets part. So now we'll do the melt denial nets part. So if you go ahead and imagine, your two gardens representing conscious and subconscious mind, whichever one is which, doesn't matter. And then the gold flowy boundaries. Well, it does matter that actually. So one side is subconscious, right? And so the what now we want to become aware of is realizations, information that is in your subconscious that's kind of buried. Okay, and so it's buried underneath a bunch of denial, or maybe dumped energy from other people, whatever, right? And so it's a little more challenging for it to you become conscious of it, right? So you just imagine colored balls that represent those buried helpful realizations that would be healthy and gentle for you to realize right now. And then just imagine, I like to imagine them like netting, but the denial that's suppressing these realizations. Like unhealthy denial, but you could represent the denial with like heavy rocks, keeping the balls down or something, whatever you want. And then just melt the denial nets, or however visual representation you have for the denial. Denial, suppressing energy, from others, whatever. Whatever's holding back these colored balls representing helpful realizations and keeping them in the subconscious. So just lots of gold light, take your time. You say, angels, if there's any invasive beings in the way of this process, can you recycle them? You may have to melt a lot of family members out, a lot of people that you've known, maybe every person you've ever dated. Just don't worry about who or how many, just use lots of gold light, melt everybody. And then the denial nets dissolve and the color balls pop into your conscious mind. And maybe most of them did, but some didn't. So then again, find the denial nets and whatever suppressing energy is on top of those colored balls, and just melt those away, melt the denial nets away, so that those balls representing helpful realizations can also come in your conscious mind. And you don't have to read at all what the realizations are, because you already knew they were helpful, and so then now you'll be able to know them when you need to know them. So we will do it one more time, specifically to help the theme, communication, perception, and focus. So imagine your two gardens and your fully boundary wall, and imagine helpful realizations. Maybe they're buried and deeper in your subconscious. But if they're healthy and gentle to realize, and if you realize them, they would help your communication and or perception and or focus, right? So those colored balls of energy. And then just imagine the denial nets or whatever suppressing energy is keeping them down, and melt all that. Melt the denial nets and say, angels, if there's any invasive beings suppressing these helpful realizations, can you recycle? A lot of times it's family members or just, everybody you've ever dated, every neighbor you've ever had. Yeah. So just melt all that junk so that the colored balls can pop into your conscious mind. All right, good job, good job. And if you have any that haven't popped into your conscious mind, you can just say, angels, can you help me with these? And then just leave it at that. Angels will help you. And of course, you could do that process again, but I don't need to right now for the people I'm healing. But you could, imagine the helpful realization balls and, the denial nets, and melt more denial nets, all that. So they pop into your conscious mind. All right, good job, good job. Okay, so this is a slightly new term, new as in I haven't really used it in a stream, I don't think. So intrapersonal conflict, as opposed to interpersonal conflict between you and somebody else. Intrapersonal is like an inner battle that you have with parts of you. And so I list up there which parts we're talking about. So we're talking about stuck parts of you that are in conflict with wiser parts of you. So to, sort of do a callback to an example, I think an example I just lightly mentioned, if you want to go to bed earlier, right? So there could be a wiser part of you that is you know, very motivated to do that because it's super healthy, you know, help your next day, blah, blah, blah. And then there are maybe a whole bunch of stuck parts of you that are like, no, but, you know, this is the best time, night, and blah, 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 and it'll work out, you know, and maybe for you, it won't work out. Maybe it's actually taxing certain meridians that you really need to strengthen and, you know, so that your life improves and your emotions improve, et cetera, you know. And so maybe even though you can get a creative spurt by staying awake during that time, it comes at too big a cost, perhaps, for you. And, you know, everybody's body's different, so, you know, whatever. But it's just an example of like wiser parts of you and stuck parts of you and how you can have an inner battle about that. Or it could be eating, you know, and there could be parts of you that are like, okay, more cake. And then the wiser part of you is like, no, that's way too much sugar already. You know, let's have some protein right now, you know, and that inner conflict. So there can be subconscious or conscious conflicts like that you have within yourself. And so that's intrapersonal conflict, right? And that can really get in the way with your stress levels. It can even cause nightmares. I noticed that one person, they tend to have nightmares more around the time of these healings. And sometimes it's just like unearthed baggage that didn't clear yet. So you could just do a clearing exercise of clearing energy blocks that are causing the nightmares. But for that person, I saw it was actually more like they have stuck parts of them that are actually battling what the wiser parts of them know and want to do with their life and, you know, the near future. And that inner battle is giving them the nightmares. So interesting stuff. Anyway, so let's do it, right? So that was explaining. So this is doing. Okay. So just imagine an inner conflict. Well, just imagine a wiser part of you. Maybe you have a couple different wiser parts of you. And this is you, right? It's not some being in your head or something, right? It's just a part of you that is more in tune with your inner wisdom, right? So imagine that part of you, we'll call it the wiser part of you, right? And then imagine one or several stuck parts of you that regularly battle and kind of work against and talk over and disrespect the wiser part of you, right? And so just imagine how many stuck parts of you are regularly in conflict with the wiser part of you. And this, of course, can be 100% subconscious, you know, so you cannot have frustrations consciously at all and still have this inner battle going on. So anyway, wiser part, stuck parts that battle with the wiser part, and then give these stuck parts of you a healing. So line them all up, gold light. You can talk to them in a comforting way, but don't expect them to become all cheerful. Lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy. And again, you're healing these stuck parts of you that regularly kind of work against the wise part of you. Lots of gold light. You can say angels if there are any invasive beings connecting to or influencing these stuck parts of me. Can you recycle those beings? And that's especially true in cases of like addiction or compulsive behavior, or even sleep issues, or like an overactive mind. There can be invasive beings that, you know, that's like a more common symptom of that invasive beings might sort of amp up, you know, that addictive behavior or the compulsive behavior or the, you know, the overactivity of the mind. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings affecting these stuck parts of you? And just keep healing these stuck parts of you that battle with the wiser part. And eventually what happens is these stuck parts of you melt away. So that then those particular stuck parts of you that are battling with the wiser part, they don't exist anymore. You get the energy back. It's not stuck. And if some of it is not happening, maybe one or two of those parts is corded to like a family member or a loved one. And because, like, for example, say you have a partner who has imbalances, they might not want you to get a lot better. Maybe they have a fear of abandonment, and so they want you to be even more stuck than they are. But, you know, sometimes you just have to not allow people's more controlling instincts to have an effect on you. Even if you care about this person and you have a strong relationship with them, you still kind of have to protect yourself against, people's imperfections, right? So if you still have some of these stuck parts of you that haven't fully melted, go ahead and make sure you melt cords between these stuck parts of you and other people. And sometimes it could be an invasive helper who's thinking that they're helping you by forming this part of you. But whatever it is, just melt those people out of there so that then you can fully heal these stuck parts and they dissolve and you get your energy back. And if any are left over, say, angels, can you help me with this? Deep breath. So see how that feels for you. Do you feel any difference? And it's okay if you don't. It doesn't mean that it didn't work. Sometimes people, they don't feel immediate differences. They feel differences like a day or two later, or even a week later, or something different will happen for them, and there's like a delayed effect. And just breathe into your body, see how your mind feels, see how your body feels. So this is more of an explaining thing that might help put the value of the exercise we just did into context. I mean, everybody can kind of understand probably easily that your mind and your emotions will be more tranquil if you're not in inner conflicts with parts of you, right? Even if they're just subconscious conflicts. But one thing that maybe people tend to not think about is that your inner conflict could be drawing to you or helping you to manifest conflict externally with others. And or it could affect how you process and handle conflict with others, like how much it gets to you and how you react to it. So basically, like, inner peace helps when dealing with others. And it can, like, for example, say you're self-employed, right? And you attract clients to you, which is true, right? So say you have a string of, well, like, okay, a good example is I used to very regularly get comments of people who couldn't handle my levity, like my laughing when I was talking about chakras or whatever. And they would pretty much like angrily scold me about, that it's a serious topic and there's nothing funny about it. Really hateful bitty bitty kind of stuff, condescending. And now it's really rare for me to get that kind of stuff. If I get it, it'll be very subtle. Like someone will, kind of try to hide their judgment and just make a comment about my laughter, and they're trying to get me to not laugh, but they're kind of like, I shouldn't say that, so how do I say it? But before I used to get, outright, comments, kind of hostile, to some of my videos. I mean, that wasn't the only comment I got, but I would definitely get those fairly regularly. And, it's not like YouTube keeps them from me, I'll see whatever comments people post. So what I think is that I just, that my inner climate changed. So I'm not drawing to me that level of open hostility as much as I was before. So, it's interesting, and so you can think about, maybe when you're journaling or something, or when you're meditating and journaling, like what kind of inner climate and intrapersonal relationship, or vibe do you need in order to attract the clients that you want, or attract the job opportunity that you want, or attract the friends that you want? That's whole like inner, because sure, there's a lot in the external world that you can't control, but then there is like, you can definitely manifest, meeting certain people and not other people, and you know, like how people react to you sometimes is heavily influenced by, your own energies within you. So it could be interesting food for thought, and maybe motivation to work that whole interpersonal conflict thing more. And just, you can look at it even just not only as that, like resolving more inner conflicts, but maybe just more self-love. The stronger self-love you have, then maybe, it would not attract a certain kind of client that you're trying not to attract anymore, or whatever. So, like say if you, whatever, so you get it. But it's just food for thought. You could work that as far as like, particularly if you're self-employed or you're looking for a new job, or, but even just, day-to-day interpersonal interactions. You can explore that a little bit about your inner climate and how that influences, the type of people that you come into contact with and how they interact with you, and how that feels for you, and which is largely a part of the theme today. But I just wanted to extra mention that with the intrapersonal conflict, because people might be thinking, well, okay, it helps peace of mind, but does it really help my communication with others? And I think it does, actually, in a kind of cool, less obvious way. All right, enough of that. Okay, so I use a couple of little abbreviations there to fit it in easily. So really quickly, we're going to take care of your seventh chakras. Just unblock them a little extra. So I wrote sevenths there, meaning seventh chakras, to help you finish. And I wrote AR representing Akashic Record downloads. So Akashic Records, your personal Akashic Record specifically, is like a library that's just for you, that your angels maintain for you up on the astral, and it's a safe storage for information of yours that you've learned through past life experiences. And typically it's information that you don't need right now or in the very near future. But if there is information, you know, you're starting a new project or something, or, you know, you have a new problem to solve, or a new situation that, you know, you need some extra wisdom with, you can ask your angels for help, and then they help you start a download where you bring in information from your Akashic records that you've earned and learned in past lives. Because you think about it, you know, if you had so many past lives, you must have learned a lot already. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, right? So that download tends to look like, well, the way I see it, I mean, you can imagine it however you want, you know, flower petals coming down or whatever. But I tend to imagine it like gold confetti just coming down, you know, to your seventh chakra. So, you know, kind of like that gold confetti I just did. So you can imagine a copy of your seventh chakras out in front of you and just unblock them a little extra. What we did in the last healing is we removed some devices on the inner surface. So your seventh chakra is oriented this way. An ideal color for it is a purple color. So open cylinder. This is getting a little flat, but it's supposed to be an open cylinder. Equally open on both ends. And standing up like that for your seventh chakra. But it's much smaller. It's like just that big in there. And so you can make a big copy of it though. And just melt blocks. And you can, maybe there's some devices on the inside or the outside of your seventh chakra that block the flow significantly and block you from being able to repair as much. So just have sticky gold wax stick to any devices that are healthy and gentle to get rid of in your seventh chakras. And then just lift out the devices. Angels, here you go. One more time, sticky gold wax. Have it stick to any devices messing with your seventh chakras that are healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. And lift out the gold wax with the devices. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. And now you generally can do a lot better repair and unblocking without those devices in the way, because the gold light makes better contact with your seventh chakras. So you especially want to focus the gold light on the outer surfaces, both the bottom and the top outer surface, all the way around, to make sure there aren't any like chips or missing pieces or hard objects still stuck there. So just lots of gold light. You want a smooth outer surface, kind of like a, you know, a coffee cup or something, or a glass, you know, and how smooth that is without chips sticking out of it. So lots of gold light, get that outer surface of your seventh chakras nice and repaired and free of devices. And this can help so many things. Focus, thinking clearly, waking up more easily, confidence, identity, all the seventh chakra stuff, intuition. So again, that round outer surface, the outer surface right there, you want that to be nice and smooth, like a drinking glass you would want to drink out of, right? And purple, you can set the whole thing, your favorite shade of purple. And really you're doing it to both astral and physical body chakras at the same time, but you could separate them both to like get a better picture, like maybe one of them is more damaged than the other. And so if you imagine them separately, physical seventh and astral seventh, maybe you'll notice that. Like notice which one needs more repair. Pop out the hard objects. Angels, will you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? You can even do the 7th chakra filament, which is a connecting, it's a good cord that you have between your 7th and your 7th. You can imagine it. It should be purple if your 7th chakras are set to purple. So it should be a purple flowy cord of flowing energy of yours, but it might have other people hoarding it, might have hard objects, might have damage and leaks. So angels can recycle any invasive beings hoarding my 7th chakra filament, or my 7th chakras. All right. So, and you can imagine your 7th chakra astral inside your 7th physical body chakra, the way it would be if you're present. And chances are that work now is going to allow the rest of the Akashic Record download to happen. Like part of it could have already happened, but then part of it is like sort of suspended until you get your 7th really, really optimized, and then it can come in. So maybe it already came in the last minute when we were doing that, but if not, just heal yourself just a little extra and watch to see if the rest of the download comes in. And if not, you can just say, angels, help me with that. Oh, right. Good job, good job. So we are almost done. We're going to just do some 2 fun things. Okay, so we're gonna do a 2-step process. Well, yeah, we're gonna do 2 things, 2 very cool things. The first is this proactive 3 steps, which I'm calling proactive because one of the steps is proactive clearing. So, and then after that, we're going to do biker shorts, healing and unblocking of your biker shorts area, which I do especially enjoy, including meridian work in that area of your biker shorts area, with our image of Mr. Meridian with all his meridians in that area. It should be nice. So first, let's do this. These 3 steps, which I'm calling the proactive 3 steps. So first, clear STEB, super easy. Make a big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it copies of any energy blocks that are triggered in your space for any reason, you know, even in your subconscious mind, whatever's still triggered, even though, you know, you're a rock star and you clear energy regularly, you may have some stuff triggered. So pile it out in front of you and ask your angels, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels sort through it, and they may remove stuff if stuff is too much for now. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hoarding any of this stuff? Deep breath while your angels do that for you. And then you can do the rest. Just lots of gold light. Melt cords from people out of these blocks. And all sorts of people could be hoarding these blocks on a subconscious level. Don't worry about who or why. Just melt the cords and melt the blocks. And you could also just blow up the blocks. Whatever you prefer. Deep breath. So good job. That was clearing STEBs. So then proactive clearing. We're going to specifically do proactive clearing for whatever might get triggered as we do the biker shorts area work. But you can also, maybe we'll stick an extra proactive clearing for like the rest of this month, just for kicks. But first we'll do proactive clearing for whatever could get triggered as you do the biker shorts work and you get more present because you're a rock star And now your hips and that whole area is more unblocked and clear. You get more present, maybe it triggers some stuff, right? So we want to proactively clear what is going to get triggered, right? So big old blanket out in front of you, pile onto it with your intention, just whatever would get triggered if you get more present due to, the healing work you're about to do, right? And if you're about to do some more healing later, be proactive clearing for that too. Anything is likely to get triggered, in your upcoming healing work, right? And then just ask your angels. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? So they can sort through it and remove anything that's too much. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting these blocks? Deep breath while your angels do that for you. And then you do the rest. Just lots of gold light, melt cords from people, and melt these blocks. And again, these are blocks that are likely to get triggered if you get a lot more present from upcoming healing work, maybe that we're about to do or that you're about to do in the next week. So melt these blocks. That way it's just easier for you to keep moving forward. All right, so then we'll do, just for fun, we'll do an extra proactive clearing one. Big old blanket out in front of you, and you can use your intuition if you want to say for the next year or for the rest of this year or just this week. Say if you have a particularly demanding week coming up or for this month. But whatever, pile onto it, any blocks that intuitively, with your intention, you just figure, okay, these blocks are going to get triggered in this next upcoming time period. So pile all those blocks up onto the blanket, copies of all those blocks, and then just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And just let your angels sort through and reduce the pile if needed. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting any of this? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then you do the rest now. Lots of gold light, melt cords from people. All sorts of people could be courting. Everybody you've ever dated, anyone you're genetically related to that's still living, blah, 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 blah. Just melt all the cords, doesn't matter who it is. And as you melt all the cords, then you can keep using gold light to fully melt these blocks. Again, these are blocks that are likely to get triggered in the next whatever time period you picked. Right? So, but they're healthy and gentle to clear right now, so why not? Make your life easier. All right, good job. If there's any still there, just wrap it up in gold light and hand it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with all that? All right, so then the final third step of this process is recycling lurkers. So lurkers is just my jovial term for invasive beings that you've knocked out of your space because you are an energy rock star. And but they're mischievous and they haven't given up on bothering you in the future, so they're lurking. Maybe they're a foot outside of your aura, or up to 10 feet outside of your aura, just keeping tabs on you, waiting for a less evolved moment when you're not so grounded or something, so they can bother you again. So just say, angels, can you recycle all my lurkers? And you can kind of imagine your space and then where they are, like little dust bunnies. And then just, if you still have some, just ask your angels again, because maybe they're doing it in batches. And just say, angels, if I have any lurkers left over, can you recycle them? Deep breath while your angels do that. All right, great job. Woo-hoo. So now, for the extra fun part. Disco biker shorts, clearing. So first we'll do this, and then we'll work with Mr. Meridian and heal some meridians in this area as well. But first we'll look at the impossibly perfect airbrushed. Oops. I didn't mean to show him yet. Sorry. Some people call that the hairy guy. Other people call it but I'll call it Mr. Meridian for now. But anyway, so okay, let's go back to the airbrush perfect view. Okay, so imagine a copy out in front of you of your biker shorts area, and just heal your auras all around there and heal within that part of your body. And your second and your first chakra are in that area too, right? Because your second chakra is below your belly button. The first chakra is at the base of your spine. Those are super important, right? Second chakra, emotional stability, wellness. First chakra, safety, abundance, courage. So extra unblocking of your second and your first chakra. And also lots of gold light. Unblock your hips, your thighs. And all your auras all around your biker shorts area. Just comb through and just grab onto the blocks and your auras in those areas and just melt them away. Grab onto the blocks. So all around your biker shorts area. So blocks here, blocks here, blocks here, and blocks here. Right? Grab onto them. Use so much gold light that they melt away. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this clearing, can you recycle them? And use so much gold light, you're melting people out of the blocks, and you melt the blocks. All right, good job. You are a rock star. So then we will do Mr. Meridian. Or the hairy guy. So sometimes I find this particular view of him a little jarring. So if you do too, I apologize. But there is a benefit to it because those meridians are really important to so you can sort of process that being that view of him. You can just imagine that part of your body and use the image just as a guide and unblock all those meridians and all those points. So all the dots, those are little chakras, right? So this is the basic chakra shape, open cylinder, equally open on both ends, right? So you can just unblock all those, and that they fit within the meridian, these acupuncture points. So they don't send energy out to an aura. They just send energy up or down the meridian, you know, whichever is the natural direction of flow. You don't really have to know the natural direction of flow for all these meridians. You just unblock the chakras and repair them. And the chakras know which, you know, direction of flow. But I guess I could mention like that the fluorescent green one that goes in the inner leg right there and right near his private area and right near your private area. That's the liver meridian. So that bright green one, that's the liver meridian, and it goes up. It starts in by your toe, goes up in your toe, and then goes up and ends right around here. So you can just do direct healing on that part that you can see. And then the purple one, that's your spleen meridian. I hope I'm remembering all these. But the purple one is your spleen meridian, and that one also goes upward from your foot all the way up. And then see those 2 points like in the crease of the thigh, you know, where the thigh meets the hip. So don't skip those. They're okay, so it's spleen. And then the stomach one is sort of the moderate green color, the medium green color right there. And that goes downward. So it's like if you look where all his hair is, right, the midline. And then out from that, that's the orange ones are kidney. And the ones after that, the medium green ones, that's stomach. So the stomach meridians are going right there. Over and down the thigh. Extra. Then the the midline one, that's CV meridian, conception vessel meridian, which is really cool and important. Starts in the crotch. And then, so I think that point that you see that's just above his most private area there, which we are seeing in full color, is I think that's CV2, the one you can see, and CV1 would be right in the crotch. So just imagine your CV1 and your CV2. So you can just imagine it like a red flowy line, you know, red flowy tube with red flowy energy in it. That's how it should look, but it could look black and crusty and ripped open, or white and you know, hardened. So just keep using gold light until it's red and flowing. And then the one on either side of that, the orange one, that's kidney meridian, which starts in your foot, the sole of your foot, and goes upward. So right there where you see it going up almost at the midline on either side, that's kidney meridian, goes upward right there. So, and then now comb through all your auras in that whole area, including the auras for those specific meridians, but all the, you know, the 17 auras. So astral, physical, and then the 15 weight sheet auras, comb through. Lots of gold light. You can just imagine some significant energy blocks that are in your way. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings blocking this clearing? And then clear the blocks. And you know, your intention is healthy and gentle. You only want to find significant blocks that are also healthy and gentle to clear right now, right? So, because you don't want to make more trouble than you solve. So comb through, find significant blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear, and melt them away. Comb through, find significant blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear. Angels, can you recycle any beings in the way? Wow. Sound effects optional. All right. So there you go. So as we wrap up, we can just do a few angel requests and affirmations. As a wrap up for the healing. So you can say, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? And maybe you can unblock your grounding too. So imagine your groundings, make sure they're nice and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And just comb through and melt any traffic jams that have arisen. And maybe we'll do, we can also do the, just a little bit of the, yeah, clear STEBs. We'll clear STEBs too. So reground, we already did that. Unblock your grounding, we do that, right? So then put a big gold blanket out front of you, pile onto it any STEBs. Maybe there's some extra ones that just got triggered, and melt them away. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? All right, and then now, angel requests. Angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you help me with my communication, perception, and focus? Angels, can you help me make progress with my communication, perception, and focus? Deep breath. All right, and some affirmations if you want. You can make up your own always. You don't have to, it's not like a must say this word for word type thing. But just, you know, maybe some people have trouble thinking up some, or, you know, if you like them, you can use them. You can write them down and use them later too if you want. Angels, can you help me make the most of the rest of this month? Angels, can you help me make the most of the rest of this year? Angels, can you help me make the most of the rest of my life? Angels, can you help me have as much self-love as I need? Angels, can you help me be kind and gentle with myself as much as I need to be? So those were more angel requests than affirmations. Let's see. I'm going to let my angels help and guide me and protect me. One I especially like is I was born ready. I was born ready. I have all the divine assistance I could ever need. I am an eternal spirit. Each day I am learning and growing and becoming more strong. Each day I am becoming more balanced and healthy. All right. Good job, good job, good job. Woo! Yay, good job, good job. That's a healing. You're such a rock star. Woo! All righty. Okay, so we'll do a quick restroom break if you need it. I do. And then I'll just turn the camera back on and I'll do stretching just for a minute. Because I need to, because I've been sitting too long, and maybe you need to too, and maybe if you see someone stretch, it might make you want to stretch. But obviously just do what's healthy and gentle for you. And then we'll have a little chat about energy healing topics. You can put in the chat right now how the healing was for you. If you have any follow-up questions about the themes, or any follow-up questions about something I said, or comments about something I said. And I will read them as much as I have time to read them, but it is pretty late already. It's 9 p.m. for me. So we'll see if I don't get to some comments, maybe I'll skim through and just read the newbie comments, or whatever. If I don't get to your comment for some reason, you could repost it under the video as a video comment, and then eventually I would get to it and post a reply comment under your comment. Okay, so I will be back soon. Hello, hello, I'm back. I'm gonna do a moment of stretching. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you had a good break. Let's see. Let's change our scenery just a little bit. How about the evening ocean view? I like that one. There we go. Nice and mellow. Way to wrap up the stream. Some chit chat. You can see the birds flying too. How about that? Okay, so I'm gonna look at chat comments. All right. So let me get rid of the theme just so we can see more of that sunset. It's nice. There we go. Okay. So looking for comments I haven't read yet. Hey, hi from Ottawa, Canada. Planted seeds in May, picked cucumber today, gave some away, also found a winter squash on its way to maturing. That's fun. Very cool. Someone says hi from Chicago, 74 degrees Fahrenheit and clear. Sounds very mild and pleasant, especially for Chicago in August. It's nice. That same person says, thank you, Janet. Loved everything today, especially the intrapersonal work. I've been working the denial nets a lot, and it's made me really mellow about my new job move goal, and I'm thinking I need to incorporate the intrapersonal work for new job move too. Yeah, that would be great. People either like me or really dislike me, and that's great. And I tend to get too involved with the people that don't like me, which is a waste of time. Did I read all that right? I think all that is dead on. Like, I think that, I even noticed, because you're very regular about writing surveys. Thank you very much, post-healing surveys. And I think it was you in your survey. You said, the survey for the last healing, I read them as I'm planning the next healing, right? So I was reading it today, and you were saying how that you mentioned in one part that the melt colored balls, melt denial, and that stuff helped, and then in another part you said like I'm calmer and stuff, and or you link the two together maybe in your survey explicitly, but I do think, which people don't have to do, you can just say I feel calmer, and I don't know why, that's fine, but it does look like that helped you to calm down. Another person was having nightmares, and I think part of it was intrapersonal conflict, because it's like if you are having these realizations, or your mind wants you to have these realizations, but then there's a part of you that's actively working against it, those stuck parts. So I think the two together is a good combo. Maybe we should have done the heal mini use to reduce intrapersonal conflict first. That could be interesting. And then do melt denial nets. But whatever. I think both would be good and helpful for your new job move goal. Yeah, I think so. People either like me or really dislike me. Yeah. Well, and I think I think that's kind of what I was describing with the whole thing of, I used to get these commenters who were like, really bothered by my laughter. Like really. Like mortally wounded, insulted. And now I don't So yeah, it could be just more self-esteem, so you don't attract that kind of stuff. So is it more self-esteem that causes you to attract people that really don't like you, or is it an intrapersonal conflict thing? Yeah, it could be an intrapersonal conflict thing, more so. Like you have parts of you that are bad-mouthing you, and so you attract other people that have that same judgy anger towards you. Yeah. But yes, you read it all right. Someone says, thank you for the healing, Janet. I really want to make new girlfriends, female friends. What are some tips the angels recommend? Well, turtle exercise is always a biggie, and the angels are mentioning that for you in particular too. But that one's not just you. So if you search Janet Wright turtle exercise, I don't know that I made a short excerpt video of turtle exercise, but I may have. I'm not sure. If you search YouTube for, I know I've wanted to, but I may have actually made one. Janet Wright healing turtle. Let's see. Janet Wright healing turtle. I did. I made it 2 months ago. Yay! And it's not even 4 minutes long. Rockstar. Oh, that's a huge victory. So, okay. So yes, so this is the 3-minute and 40-second video for the turtle exercise. And that would be a great one about friends and manifesting more friends. So you can find it by searching Janet Wright healing and then the word turtle. But here, I'll post it. I'll say it's 4 minutes long, but it's slightly less than it. Oh yeah. I have to post it in a different way. Okay, there you go. So that the link is in chat if that helps anybody. But you can also just search Janet Wright healing turtle. Other than the turtle exercise, you could work clearing agreements with your mother that relate to your interactions with women specifically. Yeah. Because your mother has a lot of fears that she doesn't keep to herself and kind of turns them into rules that you have to live by, even though you're a grown woman now. So yeah, so just line up, and you could do this regularly for, like maybe twice a week for a couple weeks. Just any rules that your mother has that you've agreed to, or that she's shoved in your space and kind of tried to brainwash you with, that govern how you relate to other women. Because among her many fears, she has fears of women and friendships with women. Yeah, I would say those two things. So keep clearing agreements with your mother that impact your friendships with women or even interactions with women, and then turtle exercise. You could do that, both of them like twice a week for a couple weeks. So I hope that helps. Someone says, thank you for the healing, very thorough. I liked the 3 steps. They were great flushers, as I was triggered about mom's situation. your mother's situation, and I tried to heal parts of me and STEBs related to it. Anything else I can add to it? Yeah. Your mom's health situation, you kind of stepped into this thing where you're trying to help the whole family process whatever stage your mom's at in life, you know, and whatever stage she might be approaching in life. So it's like you're all done processing, but you can see that nobody else is. And you're in a lot of resistance to that. Like you have this sense that like everyone else should be as ready as you are, or that it's your job to make or help everyone be as ready as you are. And you've already like suggested angel classes, you know, in that they take angel classes in their sleep. And some of them have agreed and are doing that, and some of them are just like, yeah, screw you, crazy pants, you know? So from what I can see, your angels are like, yeah, you know, step down off of the self-appointed facilitator role that you have with the family and your mom's process, and just be regular you, and don't have that job. Even your two sons, I mean, they're pretty much, one of them is already a legal adult and one of them is like just under being a legal adult. So there's kind of this way which like your angels show me, you know, birds leaving the nest, you know, and that they have to learn how to fly. And if you keep holding them, they won't learn how to fly as well. So even with your two sons, your angels are just like, yeah, you've done your part. The rest is up to them. You know, if they want to learn the hard way, they can learn the hard way. If they want to learn the easy way, that's up to them. One of them is taking angel classes about, you know, being ready and dealing with all that. And then one of them is like, screw you, mom, you're crazy. Dad's right, you're crazy. You know? So it's, you know, your angels just keep saying, you're done. You're done. Just be you, live your life. You know, because they're like, you keep putting your life on hold to make sure everyone else is okay. And they're like, it's just not your job the way you make it your job. So, hope that helps. I know that'll take a little bit to kind of ponder and discuss with your angels, but they just wanted to bring that up. So that's the only problem about you and your mom's situation, is that you're trying to do this extra job of family facilitator, that, you know, your angels say is no longer your job. You've done more than what was your job, and more than what was even an optional job, and now you're just kind of stuck in it. So they're like, you gotta take a step back from that. So if that makes sense. Someone else, let me make sure I'm seeing all. Oh, you know, regarding on that Thailand question someone said earlier, I don't know if I said, for people that haven't heard it already and they don't feel like watching that little 9-minute video I linked in the chat, my husband and I and our pets are moving to Thailand in it looks like it's not going to be exactly a year from now. It's going to be a year and like a month or two from now. Because we have to sell our house first and all. But yeah, so that's why somebody asked, you know, why Thailand? It's because I'm and I'll continue working, you know, because all my work is done remotely anyway, and we'll be living in Bangkok, and they have really fast internet in Bangkok, probably much more reliable internet than I have out here. So I'll be working as usual once we move to Thailand, to Bangkok, Thailand. Oh, there you go. So that's that. And there is a video in chat about, it says, why Thailand in a 9-minute video, which I linked in the chat. Someone says, thank you, Janet. So glad I listened to my intuition and signed up for this healing set. Yeah, I am too. It's almost 12 here in Georgia. So going to bed and process this part of the healing. Yes, it is. I know these are at weird times. I used to try to force myself to do it at a more appropriate time for my American viewers, at least. I mean, viewers in different countries, it's always been kind of a weird time. But I just so far I haven't figured out how to do that. Because there's so much prep that I do. Like 2 days before, 1 day before, 3 days before, day of. But now if I want to text people 5 minutes before the stream starts, I'm going to have to start the live stream. Apparently, I just found out tonight that I'm going to have to start the live stream before 8 p.m. Eastern, which is before 5 p.m. my time. If I want to text people that, you know, signed up for the text alerts, you know, because to be able to text people, oh yeah, the live stream will start in 5 minutes, because there's a quiet time, and you can't text after that, according to the company that I set up those texts with. So whatever. So we'll see if I can discipline myself enough to start earlier. On Wednesdays, I do start earlier anyway, which is the third healing in this set. Third healing in the triple set is on Wednesday. And I definitely start before 5 o'clock on those days because my husband also live streams on Wednesdays. And he live streams later. And so I have to finish so that he can start. But anyway, he doesn't do energy healing stuff in his stream. He does comic book commentary. Someone says, thank you. I'm strongly feeling to forgive unreasonable demands by parents, strongly pulled to heal if lose focus. What is going on? Sense their spirit also calling for healing? Time to shine. Oh, and then you mentioned your name. But it's all mushed together, so I thought it was a word. Oh, very funny. And then you also say, this may be the fear carried in knees to hips. Well, I think actually it the one where we did heal intrapersonal conflict, which was before the biker shorts work that we did, it was near the end. It was very near the end, but it was before we did that 7th chakra work. So a couple steps before the very end. We healed mini U's to reduce intrapersonal conflict, and I think that because I think there is a wiser part of you that does want you to forgive your birth parents, in that, not like, okay, pretend that they weren't abusive or judgmental or controlling, and not to sort of pretend that they are, you know, really altruistic and non-controlling. But, you know, forgiveness allows you to let go of a lot of pain that people have handed you, and it makes you harder to control if you can forgive somebody. It just allows you to be at peace, and then they owe the universe. They don't owe you directly. It's like you just, which I think is a lot safer, because if you have someone who's imbalanced enough that they really did do abusive things towards you, why would you want to meet them again in another life and have another relationship with them? But if you don't forgive them, then they owe you personally. So then the likelihood that you will have another lifetime with those exact people is very high. And you'll know them in some way in order to continue to resolve that situation. Whereas if you forgive them, not only does it jumpstart a lot of your personal healing, but then they owe the universe. They don't owe you. So then they'll have to be more altruistic and gentle and, you know, supportive to somebody else and not you. So they still have to learn and sort of pay the karma, but not to you directly. And then you just, you know, then you don't have to wait on that, and you just heal and move on. So I don't know, you know, how much that relates to you exactly with your parents, but that's sort of the general gist, that the wiser parts of you does want you to kind of release resentment. Resentment's kind of interesting. Like the liver meridian can hold resentment. So you could work that, like the liver meridian, Wei Chi aura, and the liver meridian itself, which is, did I have that? I think we worked that quite a bit a couple healings ago. Yeah, liver meridian video. Yeah. So this is the liver meridian, and I'm sure it helps in like 5 million ways. I know sexuality is one way it helps, some of the points on the liver meridian, but also resentments can help block it up. So you could heal this directly, you know, imagining it and healing and unblocking with gold light. And you could also just imagine the Wei Chi aura for this liver meridian, which would go all around you, but it directly relates to the liver meridian. And you could just unblock that and melt away energy blocks that represent your resentments towards your parents, or their resentments towards you, and other resentments towards other people, not just your parents. It could be too that that's what came to your consciousness mind, was about your resentments towards your parents, but it's really a lot of resentments, you know, past life resentments to people you don't even know anymore, you know, all sorts of stuff. So I think this is really for your angels, like the ideal that you could take away from it is to work your liver meridian, Wei Chi aura, and your liver meridian and melt away resentments. And you could just imagine objects that represent your resentments that are healthy and gentle or clear right now, and just melt them, you know, without imagining the liver meridian, Wei Chi aura, or the liver meridian. That's another option. But I mean, if they want healing, I mean, you could just, you know, say, you know, hey, your angels can heal you way better than I can. Just ask your angels for healing. You know, and then you just say, angel, you know, walk them through it. Just say, angels, can you heal me? You know, angels, can you help me with all my stresses and pressures? And then they'll just copy it and they can do it. I don't think your angels are trying to get you to directly heal your parents. It's more this whole releasing resentment stuff. So I hope that helps. And, you know, actually, interesting, fun fact, I did make an excerpt video recently, in the last couple of days, actually, that does work the liver meridian and its complement. It's yang complement, the gallbladder meridian, which helps with self-assertiveness, and CB and GB, and it's like this unblocking. It was I did a live stream. It's only 11 minutes long, if I recall correctly. Pain cakes, clear pain cakes. Pain cake, like birthday cake. W, search Janet Wright Healing Clear Pain Cake. You bring up this video called Experience Version CBGBLRGB Clear Pain Cakes or Suppressing Blocks Energy Healing Walkthrough. And it's a live stream I did because the excerpt video would have been way too long. So I just made it a live stream just to get this done in a reasonable amount of time. So I will link that in the chat too, but you could just search for it, you know, Clear Pancakes, Janet Wright Healing. Anyway, okay, so Clear Pancakes for CV, GB, LR, and GB meridians. And the liver meridian helps with a lot. Oh, boo, I can't. I have to do it a different way to make it post. Let's see. Okay, finally, I just posted it in the chat. But the liver meridian, so this video that I just posted, the 11-minute one, which you could find by searching Janet Wright Healing Clear Pain Cake, cake like birthday cake, pain, P-A-I-N. The liver meridian helps with sleep and like heat balance. So like people that are postmenopausal or perimenopausal or whatever, if you have like hot flashes or, you know, you're more temperature sensitive than you were even before, working your liver meridian and getting that healthier can help with that. Also, you know, obviously there's different herbs and stuff you can have to help your body cool better. But so liver meridian can help with a lot, including emotions, a lot of different stuff. It's pretty cool. It's very cool. Somebody said, thanks for the feedback, Janet. Also wanted to mention that I did apply for the Stepping Stone Project Manager job. Yes, I saw that in your survey at my current company, but the salary is listed as lower than my current salary. Interesting. I do feel trepidation about that, but my angels are stressing not to worry about that. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, they just show me this like wrapped piece of candy like it's resume candy. So, yeah, I don't know what the title is of your current position, but they just say it's just not as marketable as that position. You know, the name of it. So if the name of it is, you know, the new name of the new position, and then however many years you've been at the organization, they're not going to really care or know that, okay, but you've been in this position for 2 months and the other position's for, you know, 1 billion years, you know, which one is, you know, that it's not like that. It's just they glance at how many years you've been there and what's your current title. And they just say that that new job title is sexier, more appealing to future employers. So, I mean, you can reflect on that, see if you think it's accurate, but that's what I'm hearing. Somebody says, wonderful, thanks for the clarity and bigger picture of what is going on, sense, family, and past, wanting to heal. We'll ask them to speak to angels. Thanks again. Best to you. You're welcome. All right, cool. Well, you guys are amazing. I will do a small update of there's so much stuff Let me get my banner changed. So, usually I wouldn't be this transparent, but the angels are like, oh no, we'll help you pick and share stuff that's fine to share. So it's no big deal. Because if you're in process of stuff, if you tell people about it, even if they're like totally nice people, you know, they can kind of cord the energy blocks that are visible as you talk. And then, you know, you could be less, it'd be harder for you to move forward on that project unless you clear the boards, of course, you know. But anyway, so it's just a micro update. I'm specifically choosing things that, you know, I would not have boundary issues with by telling. So anyway, the micro update of the home selling process, getting it ready, because, you know, we're going to put it on the market within a year. Put our house on the market within a year. This is the first house that we've ever owned, so in this lifetime. So it's kind of new for us, obviously. So anyway, one thing that I can share is it's something that nobody said I had to do. I just felt like it's appropriate, you know? So it's this light right there. See that light right there? It's called, some people call them boob lights, like boobs, like the breast, because it has this little metal thing on the bottom. It's like you can't see it well right now because the camera, you know, sees all that light and doesn't show clarity. But it's like, so there's this glass dome, like a glass bowl, and there's this little metal knob at the bottom. And so it looks like a woman's nipple a little bit, you know, the knob, you know. And so they call them boob lights or tit lights or whatever, right? And so I'm replacing all of them in the house because we have popcorn ceiling, which is, you know, very dated because the house was built in like 1971 or something. And so we have popcorn ceiling where it's this textured ceiling throughout the house. And we are not going to fix that before we move. So I figure if anything's like blatantly really, really dated that is easy to fix, why not? You know, just to kind of, you know, make it more appealing to buyers, right? And so that's one thing we're doing. So I ordered a different kind of light fixture that's not shaped like a breast, you know, that looks a little more modern. So we're going to replace all those. And we have a handyman coming who's going to help us with bigger projects than that. And I'll have him like sort of mentor me as he replaces some of those lights because there are up like 7 different of those lights to be replaced. And so I'll have him put in a couple while I watch, and then I'll put in 1 or 2 just so I get experience, because I have no experience with any electrical work whatsoever. And apparently that kind of thing is very simple to do, but I'm still like, you know, I don't want to do it wrong, you know, and just like create a fire hazard for future owners or anything, you know. So I'll have him, you know, watch me do it for 1 or 2 of them. But anyway, so that's one thing we're doing for replacing the boob lights. Alrighty, so on that silly note, let's wrap up this very late live stream. It's like 21 minutes before 10 p.m. for me here in Olympia, Washington. Oh, you know what? What we can finish with is the country count. I always like doing that. So of the 134 people that I healed today in this healing and will heal in the next 2 healings in this set, which is in 3 days on Sunday and then 3 days on Wednesday, of those 134 people, they're in 12 different countries right now. 97 of them are in the US, 7 are in Qatar, 6 are in the United Arab Emirates, 5 in the UK, 5 in Canada, 5 in Ukraine, 3 in South Korea, 2 in the Netherlands, 2 in Bermuda, 2 in India, 2 in Germany, and 1 in Germany and 1 in Japan. So hello to all the people that I was healing today and will be healing in the next 2 healings. You're amazing. Hello. And also, of course, hello to everyone that's watching live and or watching later on the video. Hello. And sometimes there's obviously an overlap, but sometimes people just watch that didn't get the healing, which is, of course, you're welcome to. All right, so I will end with my website and email address. And feel free to go ahead and buy a set, even if you've never had any experience with energy healing. I promise I do not bite. And you can buy a subscription, and then you don't have to worry about manually paying all the time. Just get the healings every month. It'd be awesome if you want. Or you can just email me a question that is not answered on my website. That's fine too. That's my email address, janet@jkwhealing.com. I also have a 2-page chakra handout, which is like a 2-page email attachment that just lists each of the 7 chakras and the ideal color for each and their location and what each chakra helps with, in case you want to see it all written down in like a somewhat pretty format. You can just email me and say, hey, Janet, can I have that free 2-page chakra handout? All right. You guys are amazing. Bye. Let's see butterflies to celebrate. Bye.